What do you get when you put Aloy's first adventure in Horizon Zero Dawn and build them a Lego world to play with? That's what PlayStation has done with Lego Horizon Adventures. I got to play 90 minutes of it at the PlayStation offices, and I've got some accessibility impressions, including what co-op is like. Let's talk about it. I'm Steve Saylor, I'm blind, and I play video games. If you're wondering how and what I can see when I play video games, you can take a look at the video here or click the link in the description down below. Also, make sure to click the like and subscribe buttons while you're down there. I could use the help for making this channel grow. All right, so thanks to PlayStation for inviting me and my friend Aaron, aka Caboose, to the PlayStation offices here in Toronto. We both got to sit down and play the first 90 minutes of Lego Horizon Adventures. I've got some footage for you. Sadly, I don't have any accessibility menu screenshots or specific accessible gameplay to show, but PlayStation did provide me with some footage for you to take a look while I give my thoughts. First up, let's talk about my general thoughts, and that the game is very much like a kid's first Horizon game. It's playing pretty much exactly the story of Horizon Zero Dawn, but in the Lego storytelling style and humor. It's kind of trippy to hear the same voice actors that we grew to love and be emotional with in Zero Dawn and in also Forbidden Shores, and hear them get a chance to quote-unquote play with their characters a lot.
How about some warm-up shots? You remember how it goes, don't you? You ready an arrow, and then you pull the string.
Very funny. Gets funnier every time you say it.
I know, right?
Of course, Ashley Birch is well suited for a playful Aloy, as she seamlessly switches from a serious Aloy to a playful Aloy. But it's a bit of a surprise to hear characters like Rost and Varl play with their character voices a bit. Gameplay-wise, if you've played a Lego game before, you probably will feel at ease playing this one. But the DNA of Horizon is still there. Instead of Horizon's open world, it's more level-based with explorable areas, to which once you've completed a level, you are taken back to Mother's Heart, your home base, where you get to rebuild with a ton of custom buildings and costumes, not only from the Horizon games, but also Lego's own franchises like City and Ninjago. There is no like Batman or any DC or Marvel kind of like characters or buildings in this, at least from what we saw in the first 90 minutes. So it is definitely playing with Lego's own IP. I will say though, if you are a fan of the Lego Star Wars or Lego Harry Potter games where you're playing an abridged version of the story from the movies, that's honestly fun for the whole family, then this is right up your alley. It is a fun, humorous, and charming version of Aloy's origin story.
Well, come on, I've waited years to find out what it does.
Whoa. I can see stuff shining on those targets. Like it's telling me where to shoot. This must be so rare. Like one of a kind.
Actually, Tirsa found a whole bag. Always good to have some spares, right? For friends and family.
Jumping into the accessibility of the game, if you're hoping this would be a way more accessible version of Zero Dawn, this may not be what you're hoping or looking for. Yes, the gameplay is a bit more simplified, which is a staple of Lego games, but it doesn't have the same type of accessibility that both Zero Dawn and even Forbidden Shores have developed over the past several years. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. With a game like this, you can't just transfer the accessibility from Dawn or Shores into this one-to-one. Lego Horizon Adventures requires a different type of design, and for their effort, they did succeed in some areas, but they're also missing a lot to cover within the areas of the disability spectrum. While this isn't a full review of the game, here are a few highlights and potential concerns I found while playing for 90 minutes, including co-op. For blind players, this is where I think it needs the most improvement. There is no screen reader or navigational assistance. There is a sight assistance feature, sort of, in that you can play the game in co-op, but often there are areas where a player can fall down or run into obstacles or hazards within the world that prevent from moving forward. Most often in those situations, you aren't penalized for, like, say, falling or taking like fall damage or anything like that, or when you fall off a cliff. But if you run into, like, say, a bush of thorns, you do. If you play with another player and they move further ahead than you, you will be transported close to your co-op partner. This is a solution to get a player past a world hazard, but it is not an ideal solution. In combat, there's a bit of an aim assist, and there are some audio cues, but I couldn't tell fully as I was only playing with TV speakers and not headphones to know for certain. The good thing is that all the dialogue is voice acted, which helps for the story and the humor, but gameplay wise, you may be relying on sighted assistance in order to be able to play this one. For deaf and hard of hearing players, as I mentioned, there is voice acted dialogue, but much like Nintendo does in their first party titles, all the subtitles are in a dialogue box that in the settings you can enable to have the dialogue move from one line to another automatically, or you can manually do so if you need more time to read the subtitles. Also, there are subtitle options to increase the size, text, and color background, which helps out a ton, including for someone like myself who needs the larger text size. Gameplay wise, most of the action is mostly on the screen with not a lot of attacks coming at you off camera, but it is not ideal, and there are no full captions for environmental dialogue, and there may be some enemies from the fringes that may be difficult to hear or see. I couldn't fully tell if there was a lot of like any effects or anything animations that would let you know when an attack was happening off screen, because again, I've only had 90 minutes. I need to be able to play the full game in order to be able to know for certain. Especially obviously when everything is happening all at once. Speaking of which, for cognitive players, this could potentially be a bit chaotic for you to play, as there were moments where I couldn't tell where I was or who the enemies were, or even my friend Caboose's character at times, because a lot was happening all at once. It's not totally a bad thing, as I think it will just take some getting used to, mainly because what I was doing to help was hitting the focus button, which would scan your surroundings so you can see the highlighted enemies and your co-op partner better if it gets too chaotic and you need to refocus on what you are doing. For motor disabled players, because this is a simplified version of Horizon Zero Dawn and it is in the LEGO style, you do get simplified controls and control remapping, including a fun feature where if you are walking on tight ropes or a narrow bridge or even having to climb up cliffs, all you need to do is move your thumbstick close to those ledges and the game will do the climbing for you. And all you have to do is just move the thumbstick where you want to go. No need to push any other button. There's also even a little nod to Horizon accessibility, because in the game, in the original Zero Dawn, you have the ability to use your focus. You can actually see the climbable ledges in a yellow shade where you know each area they can be able to climb. In this, the climbable ledges are already on the screen in a yellow color without needing to hit the focus button. That's a really cool idea that I do appreciate. In conclusion, so far my thoughts are kind of mixed. If you're looking for a great jumping on point for the Horizon franchise and you kind of wanted a more simplified version of Zero Dawn or Forbidden Shores, this game might be for you. But if you're hoping for either the same accessibility or even improved accessibility in the Horizon franchise, this may not be fully accessible title for you to be able to play. But honestly, don't take my word for it. If anything I talked about in this video interests you to try it out for yourself and see if this works better for you, especially with considering how the simplified LEGO formula works within the Horizon world, I would definitely recommend trying it out for yourself. Thanks again for watching. If you like this video, please like it and hit the subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. Also, if you have any questions that I didn't cover in this video, please leave a comment down below. Thanks again, and see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.